Here in the UK, millions of small plastic pellets have been discovered on a beach near Portsmouth on the south coast. It's not clear where the microplastics have come from, but experts are warning they can release toxins with potentially devastating effects for marine life.
Another day, another few tons of rubbish.
Once upon a time, the oceans of our planet were beautifully clean. Not anymore. The age of plastic.
Over 100,000 albatross chicks are dying every year with stomachs full of plastic. We've had some evidence that about 100,000 marine mammals are dying every year being tangled in plastic. Persistent waste that will be there longer than any of our children, any of our grandchildren. It will be there for centuries. And it doesn't go away. We're adding to it.
The village of Bungun is being swallowed by plastic waste.
On the surface too, it's not natural, it's plastic. He says this is the worst it's ever been. Experts call it a global threat. The UN estimates by 2050 there'll be more plastic in the ocean than fish.
It ultimately is poisoning all of us, the humans, fish.
It cannot eat because its stomach is full of plastic. 80 plastic bags found inside the whale, 8 kilograms of human waste, slowly killing it.
Welcome to PP News Channel. What seems to be coming up on our radar all the time is plastic.
It's everywhere, in the seas, in the land, in our food, but it seems to be like we just want more of it.
So how did we get here? And why do us humans crave for it so much?
Plastic is a part of our everyday life. Bags, gloves, water pipes, ropes, fishing nets, bowls.
Clothing, toys, ties, bottles, cups, and literally any packaging.
Plastic is easily made from natural materials, such as coal, natural gas, salt, crude oil, through polymerization process, which joins the molecules together.
However, as we all know, these natural materials are fossil fuels and they're running out.
So why are we not making an effort to reduce our usage?
According to the UN, about 5 trillion single-use plastic bags are produced each year. Yet it seems like we can never have enough.
And 1 million plastic drinking bottles are purchased every minute.
The problem with this is most of these plastics aren't being reused or recycled. Instead, they are thrown into the natural environment and left unmanaged.
Over 8 million tons of plastic ends up in the world's oceans and often into the immune system of marine life and killing them. As a result of human overfishing, it often ends up in our food sources too.
When plastics are left floating in the ocean or even underwater, some animals see it as food, so they consume it. This plastic cannot be digested and remains inside the stomach, which causes them to feel full and ultimately leads them to dying of starvation.
Furthermore, they could die from consuming toxic materials that some plastics contain, such as PVC. And that's not the half of it. Some marine life is also killed due to plastic when it covers their mouth or gills, causing them to suffocate due to a lack of oxygen.
Plastic is non-biodegradable. This means that it cannot be broken down by natural resources and has to be manually decomposed. It takes over 1,000 years for most plastics to be decomposed. Therefore, every piece of plastic ever made is still on Earth. If every piece of plastic were manually decomposed, the carbon and labor to do so would be immense as plastic consumption continues to increase.
As consumption increases, as demand increases, our plastic pollution will worsen so long as we keep consuming at our current rate. On average, Americans use 2 plastic drinking bottles every day, only 8.6 of which is recycled.
So what can you do to help?
We can help by reducing our usage of plastic, decline when supermarkets offer you single-use plastic bags, carry a water bottle instead of buying a single-use plastic bottle, use products with less plastic, like shampoo bars and soap bars, and use washable products where you can. Most importantly, recycle them. Whilst recycling is often low, ensuring that the plastic that you do use is recycled properly will reduce ocean plastics. In Thailand, there are recycling centres that intake your waste or separate your waste to increase the likelihood of your waste being recycled. Washing products like milk cartons and water bottles will ensure that they will be recycled because governments refuse to recycle plastic with residue on them.
However, when governments claim to be recycling products, this often means shipping them abroad, burying or burning them, emitting even more CO2 into the atmosphere, which is the leading cause of global warming and climate change. Overall, 25% of global plastic waste is burned not only from governments, but other people as well.
However, there are efforts to reduce the toxicity of plastic and the harm caused by plastic. Biopolymers and degradable plastics are being developed by scientists.
To conclude, we can reduce the negative impact we have on the world.